So you want to see my roster for Smash 6. Well, to get there, first we have to talk about how we got here. The invention of the television.
Hey dude, nobody cares.
What you guys probably do care about is what my Smash 6 roster actually looks like. Let me explain a few things. We have to talk about a concept I've had for a while about what the next Smash Bros. Could do. There is a thing that they have done in Smash Ultimate that could be heavily improved, and that is the treatment of Echo Fighters. I want to explore that idea fully in this next Smash Bros. Game. So we're going all in on Echoes. What does that mean? Previous characters that maybe weren't classified as Echo Fighters, think Falco or Isabelle, they will be reclassified as Echo Fighters. Echo Fighter will have a new meaning in this game where, yes, they're based off of a character, but they do offer a new gameplay experience because I want this roster to have character choices that are full of differences. Every single character plays differently from one another. There's not 3 or 4 Fire Emblem characters that play basically the same. There's a lot of variety. And since we want a lot of older characters to get new movesets in this game, it actually fills a very important purpose. You've got guys like Mario, like DK, like Samus, like Link that have had the same moveset since Smash Bros. On the 64, and this is our way to fix that. So Mario will be getting an Echo Fighter of Dr. Mario. He will be reclassified into a Echo Fighter. He will be taking on Mario's previous moveset minus Flood because it doesn't really make any sense. So Mario can get a brand new moveset, and it doesn't have to be fully new or anything like that. He can still use a lot of his older moves, but there's a lot of new moves where he plays completely differently to the Mario we know now. And the Mario we know now is going to be put on Dr. Mario. Same thing with Link. He gets a Breath of the Wild inspired moveset. Toon Link still has that classic Link Smash Bros. Moveset. And Samus gets a lot more of Metroid Dread and Metroid Prime 4 influence, and Dark Samus still plays similarly to how Samus plays in Ultimate, with a few tweaks to make her feel a little bit more like Dark Samus. So with those returning characters reclassified as Echoes, we're also getting some new Echo Fighters. Funky Kong is a DK Echo Fighter that plays like Smash Ultimate DK, so DK can get a lot of new Bonanza inspired moves. Black Shadow is a Ganondorf Ultimate fill-in, so Ganondorf can get the new moves that he deserves. So if you like how Smash Ultimate Ganondorf plays, Black Shadow will be there having those moves, except the swords. I don't know how to incorporate the swords there. He'll just get some other Smash attacks, but he'll be basically Smash for Smash Ultimate Ganondorf. Roy will also be reclassified into an Echo Fighter. That's basically what he was for Marth in Smash Bros. Melee. Isabelle will be reclassified to an Echo as well, but her moveset will stay the same. Just, she does take a lot from Villager. Falco will also be reclassified as an Echo. He takes a lot of moves from Fox, but he does them very differently. Ryu is also staying in this game, so Ken will be back as an Echo Fighter. He was already different. He was probably the most different Echo Fighter in Smash Ultimate, so he's going to stay as an Echo Fighter as well. And we have another new Echo Fighter, but I'll talk about them later. The size of the roster. The size of the roster is important to the next Smash Bros. Game. I feel like it can't do much more than what Smash Ultimate did, but if it was far less, then fans might not be too excited about all the cuts. So I cut 22 characters from Smash Ultimate's roster, and I had to make some tough decisions. I'll let Past Sharon take it from here.
So let's go ahead and get into it. I would say Sheik is actually, I would say she's cut. I think it makes sense to just fully cut her off and have Zelda be her own character. Pichu, I think, gets cut. I think it was cool that he came back in Ultimate. I just don't think he'll come back in the next game. Young Link gets cut altogether. I think these three, they all play the same. So I think if I'm cutting somebody, I'm cutting Chrom. And you might be thinking, well, Chrom plays the most different from Lucina or Roy. And you're right. However, Chrom, Robin, and Lucina are all from one Fire Emblem game, Fire Emblem Awakening. And I don't think all Fire Emblem Awakening characters are coming back. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say that I'm gonna cut Lucina too. One Awakening rep makes sense, and having that Awakening rep be Robin, who plays a lot more uniquely from other Fire Emblem characters, makes a lot of sense. And I think we keep Roy here and repurpose him as an Echo. So if we're gonna have Fire Emblem characters that play similarly to another, I at least want them to be representing different Fire Emblem games, if that makes sense. I think Dark Pit gets cut. Dark Pit just doesn't have anything that different from regular Pit. I think Zero Suit is like Sheik, where she's a byproduct of a moveset idea that didn't carry over between games where, you know, in Brawl she was introduced to be result of Samus using her final smash. I just think that she gets cut here if we're trimming some characters down, let's be real. Snake's tricky. I don't know if he'll come back or not. I want him to come back, but the fact that he wasn't included in Smash 4 seemingly for no reason is kind of weird to me. I think he just came back for Ultimate. I don't think we'll see him again. I would love to be wrong, but I'm gonna go ahead and cut him. Lucas gets the axe here. Lucas is from Mother 3, a game that has not released in the United States in 2026, and it came out so long ago. So I think we cut him here. Rob's tough. Rob is tough only because in this next Smash game I want a story mode to be there, and he was in the last story mode. It'd be weird for him to not be here this time. I don't know. I'm gonna cut him for now. Maybe we'll bring him back. But for now, I'm gonna cut him. Wolf gets cut. I'm glad he was back for Ultimate. Very cool. Don't think he's coming back. We Fit. I think she gets cut. I'm glad she was in the game. I really am. If we're cutting on the roster, I don't think she comes back. Palutena, I think, gets cut. Kid Icarus just isn't a big enough series to have 3 reps. I'm sorry. Having Pit is enough. Duck Hunt is interesting. I think it's a great retro Nintendo rep, but if you've got a smaller roster and you've already got people like Game & Watch, Pit, and Little Mac, do you need Duck Hunt? Corin, get out of here. We don't want you. We're gonna cut Richter. It was cool they threw in Richter in Ultimate, but I don't think he comes back because he's just not different enough. His fire is blue, and that's it. I think Incineroar gets cut. I think I'll also keep Lucario. I'll cut Puff. If you had to guess which Pokemon got into Smash as somebody who's never played Smash, you say, oh, they have like seven characters you think got in. Jigglypuff would probably be like the 50th Pokemon they guessed. Like, there's no way. For that reason, I'm cutting them. Plant can go. Plant sucks. I hate him. Get him out of here. So Joker's weird. Joker is one of those characters that I think he's cool, and I think the way he's represented in Smash is so perfect. I think he gets cut. Like, honestly, I think it's one of the weird, like, this is not a thing of, oh, who I think should get cut and who I want to not cut or want to keep or whatever. This is a thing of, like, I don't think he's gonna come back. I would be really surprised if he came back. I hope I'm wrong, but that's just a gut feeling. It's kind of like with Snake. I just don't see it, man. I really don't. I think I've just got to pick between Terry and Kazuya. I would rather have Kazuya out of the game just from a preference standpoint where I'm just like, I don't like him. But also the connection with Bandai Namco, I feel like it'd be weird to cut. I just don't. If they're making this Smash game, they're not going to cut him. And for that reason, I think Terry gets cut. It's just a gut feeling. I don't like it either, but it is what it is. Min Min, that's weird. Min Min's weird because Nintendo, they wanted to push ARMS so bad and it just didn't happen. And then they put Min Min in Smash for some reason. And like, it's a cool idea for a fighter, but I don't know. I don't know if they'll come back. I'm gonna cut him. I think Sora was a once in a lifetime pick. I can't imagine a world where he gets in again. Just because of how crazy and what everything had to go right for that to happen. But I also think that if they got him in this game, they probably were like, hey, if we're gonna do this, like, we're gonna be making another Smash game here soon, like, we want him back. Do you want, as Nintendo, do you want the most recent Smash Bros. Reveal to be cut out of your next game? I don't think so. It's tough, man, because I think he could be one of those third parties that just they can't get the rights again and they lose him. But I think Nintendo's smarter than that, and we also got a Kingdom Hearts 4 reveal trailer and a Nintendo Direct. For that reason, and that reason only, I'm keeping him. So these are characters I'm cutting, these are the characters I'm keeping. Let's move on to the other characters that we're adding in place of these cut characters.
Wow, I can't believe that person was cut. Wow, I can't believe that person stayed. Wow, what a journey. But honestly, what you're probably here for is who I think is going to actually join the battle, who hasn't been in Smash Bros. Before. So let's talk about that. Let's first move on to the first party newcomers. First newcomer from the Mario series is Waluigi. Waluigi, yeah, I've talked about him in the last video if you want to see that in full. But he makes too much sense. He's a popular character. Mario's a popular series. I don't see how he doesn't get added into this next Smash Bros. Game. Next is Impa from the Legend of Zelda series. Zelda has needed a new character not named Link or Zelda for a while now. We have 3 versions of Link, Zelda, and Sheik, who's just Zelda, and then Ganon. We definitely need a new Zelda character, and with Ganon getting a brand new moveset in this game, and us also getting Impa, it would feel like 2 brand new Zelda characters were added to this game. Pokemon is going to get a new character. That's how it happens every Smash Bros. Game, and it makes sense. Pokemon's a big series with a lot of characters and a popular series, so it makes sense. What Pokemon desperately needs though is a grass type. The only grass type we have is Ivysaur, and they're just a part of the Pokemon Trainer moveset. So it would be nice to get a grass type fighter. I don't know a lot about Pokemon, so I went through and looked at the grass type Pokemon. I took into account the popularity of those characters, and I settled on one, and I'm gonna have to look it up because I forgot the name of it. Literally, I have to look it up because I don't remember the name. Ogerpon. I don't know what Ogerpon does. I don't know what they could do in Smash. I thought their design was interesting. I thought they seemed like they were a popular current gen Pokemon. Let me know in the comments who you would want to see there instead. I don't have a lot of Pokemon knowledge, so just bear with me in the comments. From the Kirby series, we get Bandana Waddle Dee. He can use his spear and other stuff, I guess. He's cool. The Kirby series didn't get a newcomer in Smash 4 or Smash Ultimate. It's definitely time to give them one, and who better than the player for the Kirby series, Bandana Waddle Dee. Not only are we getting Samus with some tweaks to play like she's from Dread, and we're getting some tweaks to Dark Samus, we're also getting Ridley back, and we're also getting Emmy from Dread. Emmy, I've played Metro Dread and she's terrifying. I don't like her. She's scary. That's why she would be a great choice for a Smash Bros. Character. A lot of people have wanted Ravenbeak, who's like the big bad of Metroid Dread, but I think Emmy makes a lot more sense. She's shown off in the marketing a lot more. She has her own amiibo, and I think honestly she's more memorable because you're constantly having to deal with her throughout that game. Kind of like a Ridley situation where Ridley was chosen because he's a big boss fight at the beginning of a lot of Metroid games. Emmy was a constant threat throughout that game, and not like Ravenbeak where he was just kind of stuffed to the end of the game. Emmy, I think, is an interesting pick for a Metroid rep, and I think it'd be a very interesting character and a very unique playstyle. So I'd be excited to see him smash. Okay, we gotta put the obligatory Fire Emblem rep in, and I chose Kai from the newest Fire Emblem game coming out this year, I believe. I'm sorry, I gotta look this up again. Again, I don't have any Fire Emblem or Pokemon knowledge, so just bear with me here. Fortune's Weave. Fortune's Weave is what's called. I just hope we can see Kai have some interesting and unique moves. Maybe some moves from the Fire Emblem series that haven't been incorporated into Smash. Splatoon will get another rep in the next Smash Bros. Game because Splatoon is a massive series for Nintendo. I went with the Octoling. I thought I thought about making them an Echo at first, but then I thought, why? Why would I do that? There's so many weapons in Splatoon not referenced in Inkling's moveset. Octoling can have a full new moveset with all kinds of different weapons, and that would be a cooler moveset. For Xenoblade, I also thought about choosing the protagonist from Xenoblade Genesis, but I decided to instead go with Mio because she's a fan favorite from Xenoblade 3. This falls on the theme of them not picking the protagonist for Xenoblade newcomers and picking someone from the party instead who's a fan favorite. I think her disc weapon she has would be an interesting choice for a Smash Bros. Moveset. Let me know, Xenoblade fans, in the comments if you wanted someone different. Okay, let's talk about some indie reps, starting with Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight is such a cool character, and I love the Shovel Knight games. I love Shovel Knight in Rivals of Aether. I think the idea of a knight carrying a shovel is so cool to me. It's like a classic 2D platformer in the vein of like Castlevania, Metroid. It just looks really cool. The music is really cool. Character design of Shovel Knight's cool. I think it'd be awesome to see him in Smash. Following the theme of indie games with the second word being knight in them, let's go over to... Oh, you thought I was going to see a Hollow Knight, didn't you? No. You know what? I was going to, but no. We're going to go with Hornet from Silksong instead. Very popular game. People love this game. It's a platformer, should translate great to Smash, and there's a lot of different abilities they could pull from for her moveset. So not only did I do one indie rep, not only did I do two, I'm technically doing three here because I think indie games are becoming more and more mainstream. And who better to join than Cuphead? Cuphead just looks straight out of a cartoon. Aggravating game, but a very enjoyable game. You'd have a very unique moveset. There's a fan-made moveset of Cuphead that has been modded and stuff, and it just looks really fun. If you can play anything like that in the next Smash Bros. Game, he would be a ton of fun to have in Smash. I want to move on to the Sonic series now. When I was talking about Echo Fighters earlier, I was talking about the Sonic series getting the Echo Fighter of Shadow the Hedgehog. Shadow the Hedgehog is insanely popular. He's similar enough to Sonic where you could reuse a lot of Sonic's animations and moves to make a Shadow moveset with still making him very unique and giving him teleportation, making him skate instead of run, using chaos control. There's a lot you could give Shadow to make him unique from Sonic and play differently because people aren't a fan of how Sonic plays in this game, but Shadow would be fantastic. People would love him, people would freak out. And the Sonic series desperately needs a new character. I talked about this in my last video, so check it out. And because the Sonic series desperately needs new characters, I'm giving them two. One as an Echo Fighter and one as a full-fledged fighter. And the full-fledged fighter I'm giving the Sonic series is probably the most iconic villain of all time. It's Dr. Eggman, baby. Dr. Eggman he's iconic. He is on par with Bowser as far as video game big bads go. It is surprising to me that he is not even really talked about as a newcomer in Smash Bros. Circles. A lot of people default to Shadow or Knuckles or Tails or Silver even or Metal Sonic, but I think Dr. Eggman would offer something very different from Sonic. He can move around in his little like Eggmobile thing and set traps and explosives and would use weapons and stuff like that. It'd be a trap-based moveset and it'd be very different from how Sonic plays. So cool. And this way we have 3 Sonic characters basically in Smash. So that'd be awesome. Next is a character that I am surprised a lot more people aren't predicting to be in the next Smash Bros. Game, and that is a Monster Hunter rep. They can probably wear armor from several different Monster Hunter games, as well as use hunter models from different Monster Hunter games. They can be just a weapons character, a character that uses a lot of different weapons to hunt monsters, but this time you're hunting people in Smash. Being that Smash Ultimate had Rathalos as a boss fight, I think it makes sense for them to get a character. Next, let's talk about Street Fighter. Street Fighter, I kept Ken and I kept Ryu, but I want to add a third Street Fighter rep. Her name is Chun-Li. Chun-Li is one of the most popular fighting game characters ever, so it would make sense if Street Fighter got another character, it would be her. So I think she makes a lot of sense. Street Fighter movie is coming out soon. Smash Bros gets announced within the next couple of years. It would make a lot of sense for her to be chosen. The next 4 I have are all video game mascots, and they are all iconic in their own way. But let's start with Crash. Crash is one of the last video game mascots that we've yet to see in Smash Bros. Representing PlayStation, it would be great to see him in Smash alongside Mario, Pac-Man, Mega Man, Sonic. It would just make sense, right? He has a lot of material to pull from for a good moveset, and it'd make a lot of people happy. Staying in the realm of PlayStation, this is my first big swing of the video. Before I get to that though, I forgot to talk about the Miis. I kept all of the Miis when I was cutting characters down, but I really always felt like something was missing from the Miis. The Miis in Smash Bros are kind of just treated as avatars to put custom moves and custom movesets on, which makes sense and is cool. But I would love to see a Mii that references all the sports and different stuff that people associate with the Miis from Wii Sports. And I thought about just making this Mii Matt and calling it like the Mii Athlete or something. But if I know Nintendo, and I think I do, the way they're gonna go with this if they end up doing it is they are going to use the sports mates from Nintendo Switch Sports and now the upcoming Switch Sports Resort, using all kinds of different moves, basketballs, baseballs, golf swings, bowling, every Wii sport you could imagine. They can use them in their moves and you'll have plenty of moves to choose from. And now they can use all kinds of different moves from the Wii Sports Resort games. You will still be able to put your Mii into this. I just think they're going to advertise it as the Sportsmate because of the new Nintendo Sports Resort games, you know? I hope that's not true. I would love if they went with Matt or something instead, but I can't shake that feeling that's what's gonna happen. Anyways, back to what I was saying about a big swing I was making. The big swing I'm making is adding Kratos from God of War. I don't know if they can even get this guy, but they pulled off Sora in the last game, so I'm kind of leaning towards maybe they can pull it off. It's another PlayStation rep, so you would get kind of a classic PlayStation Sony rep with Crash, and then you would get a more modern mascot in Kratos. And I just imagine the Smash Bros trailer for this going hard, where Kratos is tracking down the gods of Smash Bros and trying to take him out. Like, it's too perfect. I've never played God of War. I don't even know what he can do. I want Kratos in this game. He'd be so cool. He'd definitely be heavy. That's for sure. Another big swing I took, and man, I don't know how people are gonna feel about this, but this franchise is massive. I don't see why not. We've also never really got a rep from like a horror game before, so I think it'd be cool to have that horror game rep be Freddy Fazbear from Five Nights at Freddy's. And I know you're gonna think, oh, this is a joke. He's making a joke about the funny bear from that game. No, I'm serious, okay? I'm dead serious. Five Nights at Freddy's is a huge franchise. Freddy Fazbear could be kind of just the stand-in for a lot of different references to Five Nights at Freddy's, but also have like a terrifying fighter to play against. Like, people are gonna run away from him when they're on the stage. I just want him to move in a creepy way where it still looks animatronic, but it's still fluid somehow. I don't know. I think it'd be an interesting pick. Smash Bros always has those picks that are just so out there that you're like confused when it happens. Like Steve, for example, last game, like nobody saw that coming. Nobody expected that. Minecraft's a huge franchise. Minecraft has also been memed to death, where people thought it was funny when he got announced. I think the same thing will happen for Five Nights at Freddy's in the next Smash Bros game, okay? That's what I'm predicting. If you think that's stupid, if you want to unsubscribe, do it, okay? But listen, that's a big swing, and Smash Bros. You can't make a Smash Bros. Roster without having a couple big swings in there. Just let me have this one, okay? The final character in my roster for Smash Bros. 6. If you watched the channel before, you probably know who I'm going to say. It's Master Chief, okay? I love Halo so much. I play a lot of Halo. I love the games. Master Chief has so much moveset potential. Like, there's so many weapons he can pull from, so many armor abilities, so many mechanics you could give him, like giving him overshield or invisibility or a weapon switching system, making him able to switch what types of grenades he uses. Like, there's a lot of things you could do. I mean, you'll have a gravity hammer, probably energy sword, assault rifle, sniper rifle, rocket launcher, shotgun, whatever. And I think having a mechanic where you run out of ammo as well is interesting. A first-person shooter has not been represented in Smash Bros. At all, and I think his moveset would be amazing. And it'd be so much fun, and the trailer would go hard. Yeah, this is my Smash Bros. Roster. Take a look at it. It looks pretty good. I spent a lot of time just making this image, so I want you to look at it for a little bit. Yeah, it was a lot of fun to make. I think I mixed some original ideas about the echoes and realism with first party and third party reps, along with some bigger swings, like giving Sonic 2 reps, having Kratos in there, having 3 indie reps, essentially, having Freddy Fazbear in there. My Pokemon was kind of a, an interesting choice. I feel like with the Smash Bros. Roster, you kind of have, like, if you want to be accurate, you kind of have to make like some big swings or some kind of out there choices. So let me know how I did in the comments. Let me know what you think about my roster, and if it's any good, who I should have added, who I should have kept, whatever. Just let me know in the comments. And thank you guys for the love on the last video. The last video did so well, so quickly, and we have so many new subscribers from it, so thank you so much for that video, and I hope this video can reach some more people and we can grow the channel. That being said, if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, please subscribe, join the club. I feel like I need to have a name for my subscribers, so let me know your thoughts on that as well. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video so much, and now I'm going to end with a jump scare from Five Nights at Freddy's.